Hello everybody, it's Dale from Erndales. Thanks for stopping by today. So I was just sitting here, camera is wobbling a little bit, I can't move. I was just sitting here doing some stitching. I find that these last few days before my surgery, I'm really losing it. Having a hard time just thinking about anything else but that. And so I'm doing all kinds of different things, trying to get my brain to focus on something other than my health, and it's not working so great. But anyway, what I want to talk to you today is about something totally different than I've even hinted at before. One of the things that I have always done until maybe the last 5-6 years, I haven't done a whole lot of it, but I'm a writer, and I have published one book, and I have several other books. By books I mean novels, and I have several written. And my first book was published back in the early 2000s, and it did okay. It's out of print now, and I'll show it to you. This is Stroke of Love. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about this book. It's a story about a young woman who is a nurse. She grew up in the country, and she gets a job, and she goes to Toronto. I put her in Toronto, to a big city. And she's there working as a nurse, living the high life, really enjoying herself. And she gets a call from home saying that her mother has had a stroke. So she returns home to the country, to the farm. And the story is about her and her mother and her father and a man who is in all of their lives. When I wrote the book, I had been looking after some people who were stroke victims and had severe limitations because of it. And I, over the years as a nurse myself, I looked after many stroke people. So I wrote it very real. I wrote it too real, I was told, by a lot of publishers. When I would send my book in, they said it was too real. And I kind of took offense to that because I thought it was a good thing to write it real. Anyway, it's not a hard read. It's actually quite an easy read. There's a love story in there, and there's a good family value story in there about, the importance of family. So, like I said, this book is now out of print. It has been out of print for 10 years or so. And my other book that I have actually, I did publish it on my blog. You have a very hard time finding it on there. It hasn't been published in a book form, but it's completely done. And that one is called Winter Wheat. And again, it is about a young woman, an immigrant woman coming from Germany. And I base this loosely on my grandmother. She comes to Canada with her brother, and as a young woman, and her brother dies very suddenly with an accident, and she has nobody. So she finds somebody who will help her, and she's in a big city, Winnipeg. Put her in Winnipeg. She can't speak very much English, very broken English. And so this person that helps her finds her a job in the country, back on the farm, looking after a widower and his huge young family. So she goes out to the country. This is set in 1921, so it's a little bit historic. And she has never dealt with Manitoba winters. She has never dealt with rural living of that sort. And so she has all these little kids to look after. When she gets there, the father of the children, he goes away to cut wood for the winter, which is what a lot of men did on the farm here in Manitoba in those eras. The men left, they worked, they went up into the logging mines or logging camps, and they logged wood for winter. And their payment was to bring wood home, a lot of them. Or sometimes they were paid in money. But this was during the Depression. They made money however they could. So again, this is based on true facts, and the facts were facts that I knew in my family. So anyway, that book was never published because, again, it was too real. And I'm not apologizing for it to be too real because it's a really good story. So I've been thinking about my books and writing, and I don't, like I said, I haven't really, I've always got a story in my head, but I have not actually sat down and wrote for a long time. And I might and I might not do that. But what I am thinking of doing is republishing my 2 books as a Kindle book on Amazon. Now, this is a totally new concept for me. I have never even thought about this, but for some reason this came into my head, and I've been doing some research, and I got a lot more research to go before I even attempt something like this. But I think I'd like to try it because both of the books are really good. I think they're really good books, and anybody who has read them, and there's been a lot of people who have read both books, have loved them. So this is sort of what's on the back of my mind right now, and it's actually helping to get my mind off of the cancer experience. Having said that, there's a book in there about the cancer experience. So I will let you know how this all turns out. Like I said, right now, I'd really like to get both books up and published online. And I think nowadays that sort of is the way a lot of people who, you know, if you're a writer and you've had a book published, and you know you've gone on to stardom, and you've, you know, all this kind of thing, you're fine. But to get into that kind of publishing and writing now is very, very difficult. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of really good writers out there who are being completely overlooked because an editor said their book is this or that. So I'm going to give it a try at some point, probably not till fall, but I have a lot of research to do until I get there. So maybe you'll see this. It won't have this cover. The publishers that I went with when I published this book, they had a graphic artist, and they said, you know, what do you want? And I said, I want a rural scene, maybe with a farm and a gate. And this is what they gave me, and this is not at all what I had in my head. So this time around, I think I get to pick my own image, and I have some beautiful old photographs that I would actually use for this and for winter wheat as well. So it won't look like this, I don't think, but it'll be the same book inside. So I hope you found this a little bit interesting. I have also been doing some stitching. As you can maybe see, I'm in the nook today. It's raining out, so I can't go outside. And it's been so hot. Look at how I'm dressed. I'm dressed like a beach bum. But seriously, it has been extremely hot here. 30, 38 with the Humidex over 40. And I just don't do really well in this kind of heat. I'm not a heat lover at all. Perfect temperature for me is 23, 24 with no humidity. That's perfect. And maybe a light breeze on top of it. So I am stitching on my bag. I have been practicing lazy daisy stitches. I think I almost have them mastered. And I have that, I showed it to you one other time. I have this book of hand handwork. It's an encyclopedia of handwork. My husband found it for me in a thrift store. And I've been going through, I'm going through the embroidery section, and I'm trying, there's so many stitches in there, like hundreds of embroidery stitches. So I am picking one at a time, and I'm trying it, and I'm trying to perfect it. And actually it's pretty fun to do. So once I get my bag done, I think I'm going to attempt a big slow stitch project, maybe in pieces, just using some of these techniques that I'm learning from that encyclopedia. So 10 minutes and 30 some seconds. I think I've talked long enough. I'm going to upload this, and I hope to maybe make one more video this week. I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm shaking this camera around. It's not very good, is it? But if I don't get to make the next video this week, then for sure I will make it after my surgery from Winnipeg, where I will be probably spending a week next week, the whole week there. That's the plan anyway. We will be staying at my brother's place, and I'll be able to sit by the pool and watch everybody else swim and not be able to go in the water. But that's fine. I can take my knitting and my stitching, and they have beautiful lounge chairs around the pool at my brother's house, and I'm going to just sit and watch other people in the water, and I'm going to have a relaxing time, I hope. So thank you for watching. Take care, everybody. If you want to get in touch with me, I am on Instagram as Erndales, and I'm on Facebook. I think it's Erndales and More. I have a Facebook page, and I will see you again real soon. Bye for now.